Smallmouth bass on a hair jig. What do you know, Ron?
It's a good way to get on these shallow, finicky pre-spawn fish.
Yeah.
A lot of times, you know, guys fish the hair jig just around the pre-spawn and, you know, that colder, shallower water, but you can fish this thing throughout the entire year. And, you know, I think guys limit themselves when they fish it, you know, just for a couple weeks from the pre-spawn while those bass are shallow, you know, that 5 foot or less. But when they get out deeper, open up your options, and trying a hair jig can really pay off big.
When you get out in, you know, like 8 to 15 foot of water, what a lot of guys will do is simply drag a hair jig, and they'll make a long cast, actually let out some line and do like controlled drifts over big expansive flats. Very similar in the way that a lot of guys in the Great Lakes drag a tube on the bottom. A lot of times they do that. It's can be a really effective presentation. It's one thing I can say about hair jigging, it's probably the most subtle out of any type of bass presentation to fish.
Hair jigs are not the only baits to catch for these early pre-spawn smallies. Finesse swim baits and grubs are also good options. Depending on the target depth, we start with a VMC half moon and finesse half moon jig in weights from 1/16 to 1/8 ounce. Some people may think these heads are way too light. In early season, cool water conditions, it's critical to fish slow-moving baits. Soft baits of choice, 3.5 big bite suicide shad, cane thumper, or a grub. As far as plastic color goes, we tend to pick natural colors that match the watercolor. Another bait we cast a lot is small tubes. Big Bites 2.5-inch tube, again interior weighted with a 1/16 and 1/8 ounce finesse half moon jig. This lightweight head minimizes getting hung up on the zebra mussel encrusted rocks. A lot of times with the tube, the best retrieve is to simply drag the bait on the bottom.
We're fishing with really long rods, more parabolic, softer action rods. This is actually a St. Croix hair jig drop shot rod, and your rod and reel is really critical to cast a really lightweight bait like that. Beautiful fish. We'll get her back in the water. Boy, is she a tank. Wow. And some of you would say, well, look, why is your braid bright yellow? Well, the thing is I actually have a pretty long length of 10-pound fluorocarbon leader, anywhere between 7 to as long as, in some cases, Ron likes to fish almost 15 foot of fluorocarbon or lighter monofilament leader. But the thing is, what I like about this really bright colored line is to be able to distinguish a strike. It's a real soft striking a lot of times because the bait isn't moving very quickly, and they just overtake it from the back, and all of a sudden it just stops. But it's really a great technique to catch a lot of really big smallmouths in super clear conditions like this.